MOS capacitances and what are the various definitions. So today we are going to have a good discussion on calculation of delay times. So your delay can be calculated in two different ways. The first method is called average method. Now, what is the average method and how it is different from the other method? Other method is differential method. That is very important. Now, when you see at these particular points, this is your starting point and this is your end point. Okay, for better understanding, this is your starting point, this is your end point. So we are just considering the 2 points, this value and this value, or this value and this value. So we are just taking the average of these two values as far as your current is being considered. Now, when you clearly see this particular region, we assume that your device actually is in particular mode of operation. If we talk about high to low transition, when your output falls from high to low, that means your NMOS is on. So we assume that NMOS is in linear region, but that is not the case. Your NMOS can be in linear region, your NMOS can be in saturation region. So that means the assumption we are actually making that we are actually calculating starting point. This is your starting point. When your Vin is equal to VOH and Vout is equal to VOH, this is your starting point. And when Vin is equal to this and Vout is equal to V50%. Now some of you may ask, sir, why Vin is equal to VOH here and why Vin is equal to VOH here while your Vout is falling from this? In the beginning, we have assumed that we are using ideal step input. So here you can see your input is VOH here. What is the value of input? VOH at T0, and also at this particular point, what is the value of Vin is equal to VOH. So at these 2 points, your input is same, that is VOH, while your output actually falls from VOH to V50%. So here you can see that your input is same while your output is actually falling from VOH to V50%. Similarly, when you look for low to high transition, your input is VOL. Here you can see your input is VOL and your output is at this particular value, and later on when your input is VOL, your output is V50%. So this is how we are looking at things. So what we are actually doing, we are just averaging these two currents, and your delay is tau PHL is equal to CV over I. Now from where this equation comes into picture? You are already aware of equation. As far as your current equation is considered, Q is equal to CV. Yes? And also I is equal to dq by dt. I is equal to, where I is current, rate of, so dq is equal to I dt. So what is your this? Q is equal to I into T is equal to C into V. Now what you have done, your current is this is your time, C is your load capacitance, and V is your voltage. So I hope you get understanding of this from where these terms are coming. Now when you are actually looking for high to low transition, then your capacitance is same. We have already done this exercise that your entire set of capacitances is being reduced to a simple capacitance that is called load capacitance. In load capacitances, we have included several capacitances. So voltage, we know what is the voltage, VOH minus V50%. This is the voltage at which your device is actually moving towards. And next is your average current during this duration, high to low. So this particular calculation is being done on the basis of these two equations. So this is how your delay time is calculated using average capacitance current method. But there are certain problems associated with this particular method. Now, what are the problems? If you see at this particular point, we have started from this moment and we end up in this moment. And we assume that for the entire duration, your device is operating in the same mode, but that is not the case. Actually, your device is having different regions of operation. So that's why current tends to change, because if current for a MOS in linear region will be different, current for MOS in saturation region will be different. And this current is equal to this current. This current is equal to this current. That is not the case. Current will be different. So that's why the way we are actually averaging the devices here will not serve our purpose. So for better understanding and for better calculation, we have to look forward for the other method, that is differential method of calculation of current. So here, this is your average current method. So we have already discussed this. The average current during high to low transition can be calculated by using current values at the beginning and the end of the transition. Beginning and the end of the transition. So this does not serve our purpose because calculation might be having some sort of problems. So to get rid of that, we look forward for another kind of methodology that is called differential method. So this I have already discussed that when your input is high, your PMOS is off, and this is taken out of the circuit, and your load capacitance is like this, your drain current will move like this. So your current is equal to C dV by dt, and your this equation. So from here you will get dt C load V dV out by dVn. So now what we have to do is we have to determine this drain current for NMOS. What is the drain current for NMOS? And what we are calculating? We are actually calculating tau PHL, high to low transition, when your output is falling from VOH towards 0. So we are looking forward to calculate IDN. Now, this is what I'm talking about, differential equation method. Now here you can see that when you're in the initial state, what is the observation? That from T0 to T1, your input is lying here, somewhat here. So what happens when your input is less and output is more? Your device is actually in saturation. So here in this particular region, VCC minus VTN, your device is actually in saturation. From this point onwards, what happens? Your device moves into linear region. So that means we have to calculate current in saturation region and then current in linear region and then average that. So that will give you the exact answer for your delay, not the other one where we are just going for the starting point and end point. We are not bothering about what is happening in between, but actually there is a catch. What is the catch? That your NMOS is actually in saturation in this region while your NMOS in linear region after this particular point. So that gives us different sort of thing. Now, what are the assumptions? Assumptions, as I already told you, that we assume that your input is actually step pulse with zero rise and fall time. That is what we are looking forward. So now we move ahead. So when we look forward to this particular point, here we are interested in calculated this delay. So this delay is T1 minus T naught, and this delay is T2 minus T1. So we will be calculating them one by one. So first we have to calculate the delay from T naught to T1. That means when your NMOS in saturation, we are calculating the delay for that particular region, and then we will calculate for NMOS in linear region. So here, falling delay, when your system is moving from T naught to T1 in terms of time, the delay will be calculated from T1 minus T naught. Assumption: input is fast enough to go through the transition before the output voltage changes. That is what we are talking about, that your input is having perfect square wave, it is having infinite slew rate, but that is not possible. For simplicity, we assume that input changes instantaneously without taking any time. That is not possible physically. So now what happens? Your Vout drops from VOH to VCC minus VTN. That is your NMOS saturated. You can see here, when your output falls from this point to this point, VCC to VCC minus VTN, or we can say VOH to VOH minus VTN, one and the same thing. We are using VCC or VDD because this is the power supply we are actually using. Now, in this particular mode, what happens? Your device is actually in saturation region. So when your device is in saturation region, you know this is the equation you are going to use. Here we have neglected the channel length modulation. Otherwise, you have to include the factor 1 plus lambda VDS for simplicity. And for other regions, because this is a long channel device, we have eliminated the consideration of 1 plus lambda VDS, channel length modulation factor. We have not included that here. Now, this is the thing you are already aware of. V in is equal to VOH and V2 naught and this. So now, if you look here, what we have to do is dt is equal to C load dV out by IDN. So what we have to do is we have to integrate. And what is the limit for integration? T naught to T1 and from VCC minus VTN to VCC. So these are the limits, VOH to VOH minus VTN and dV out, this entire thing. This is your related to your current. CL is your load capacitance. So this gives you T1 minus T naught, 2CL VT naught and Kn VOH minus VT naught and square. So this is the thing you are obtaining for this particular region, T1 minus T naught. Similarly, you calculate for T2 minus TV. Now, for T2 minus T1, your output falls from T1 to T2 from VCC minus VTN to V50% or VCC by 2. So you do this calculation from here, your device is in linear region. So you substitute the equation for NMOS in linear region and you do the calculation. So you end up with this T2 minus T1. So once again, I repeat this entire sequence, that your delay for falling from this moment to this moment, T2 minus T1. Here your NMOS in linear region, we substitute this equation here and we do the necessary substitution. Here limits will be T2 minus T1 limits will be same. IDS is equal to this and your limit for this is VOH minus VT naught and to V50%. This is how your current is actually changing. So substituting this, we are getting this value. So now your entire delay, total fall delay is equal to T1 minus T naught plus T2 minus T1. So just this and this will be eliminated. So this comes out to be T2 minus T1, T naught, and your tau PHL is equal to this. Now this equation need a detailed analysis. It's not simple thing because whenever you talk about delay, so many factors are included. Suppose In the previous case, we say that if you want your device to be good, what you can do, you increase the W by L. But here you can see your capacitance increases. If you increase this, your capacitance increases. So that means your delay also increases. So that's the problem. Second thing is, if you say you want to reduce the power supply for a device to make a low power device, what happens? You reduce this, your delay will be increased. So there are so many things associated with this expression. That means you cannot do anything randomly. Any variation in the design will ultimately affecting the delay. This is the delay related to tau PHL. And if on the other side, same steps need to be used. And here you can find out the other delay is tau PLH. So it is also having the same problems. You cannot increase the area. This will increase load capacitance. You cannot decrease the power supply. So it is to be done with a particular sort of optimization techniques. It is not a random thing. Some mechanism is to be there, how you are actually going to make choices for the particular expression. So based on this, we are having some numerical 6.1, 6.2, and 6.3. So I want you people to just go through these numericals. We will discuss this on Thursday's class. Now coming to this particular point, in the beginning, we have assumed that we are using a step pulse, and that we have done just for simplicity in calculations. Actually, what happens? We assume that your wave is not square, it is having some finite rise time, it is having some finite fall time. So what we have to do is we have to include certain factor to nullify that. What is that? Tau PHL actual, the one which we have calculated in the previous slides, is your assumption on based on the assumption, but this is the actual. So your tau PHL obtained when you are using a step input plus rise time of the signal. So what is rise time? We have already discussed in the previous class. That is 90% minus 10% of the actual signal. Similarly, when you are actually going for tau PLH calculation on basis, what you have to do is actual calculation when you are using step input, and this is your fall time. So you include it, take the square root, that will give you the fair idea. So that's all for the day. Now what we can do, we can have some discussion in this regard, that if you're having some doubt, we can discuss on that. Other thing what I'm expecting from you, you're having a one day in between your next class. So you can go through numerical number 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, so that we can actually use the equations, and also we will get the idea how you are actually going to implement the optimization techniques for a particular design. So that's all from my side. Now we will be discussing on the doubts. So if you have any doubt, we can discuss that.